have the legend himself, okay? Yo, get it wet. That used to be my song.
Thank you, thank you.
Hey, that was so turned up, though.
Yeah, that was a joint right there.
How you feeling? What's good with you?
Man, I'm coolin'. Out here working, chilling.
Oh, you got the grill, huh?
Yeah, a little something.
Damn, you popping with the blind.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you have your latest song, Next to You, featuring Jeremiah?
Yep. Got a Rolls Royce sample to it, so people gonna like it. You're gonna be liking it in your lowrider or whatever. Chilling, got that original Twister vintage sound to it.
Oh, okay. What's your original sound exactly?
Man, you know, like the Get It Wet sound.
You know?
Yeah, the adrenaline rush flow.
Hey, that is popping though. Do you ever get tired of being like the fastest rapper? You ever want to slow down your rap?
I do slow it down sometimes, you know, but people don't like it as much as they do if I spit the fast flow. So, you know, I gotta stay traditional sometimes.
Do you ever forget what you're saying? Since you be like,
yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, all
Sometimes
the time.
it goes so fast that you forget the words. Huh?
Yeah.
I believe it because I be trying to remember your words and I be like, well, damn, what did he say?
Yeah,
you went with somebody. I used to know like, get it wet. When's your next mixtape coming soon?
It's coming like about a month, 45 days. It's called Crook County. I got some of the young gunners on there with me, you know, the young cats, so you can hear how Twister meshing up his sound with the new flow today, you know.
How do you keep up though from your old style to like right now? Do you change it up?
I don't change it up too much as far as being me, but I might change the little style or pattern depending on the beat or whatever, and I just try to keep the subject matter lit so that everybody, you know, can relate to what I'm talking about.
So it just, you go within time as far as what's happening?
Yeah, depending on how I feel. You know, like if I'm trying to keep up with the times, I might have a certain swag to it, but if I'm just making a song about a subject or something, it's just, you know, the art in me that come out, the MC. I just do what I do. So,
you know what, to keep up with the times and things like that, how do you feel about like all the new rappers today?
I feel like a lot of them are hot. I feel like a lot of them get misjudged, and I feel like sometimes the OGs don't understand what they're listening to.
Give me an example.
You know? Like Lil Yachty. A lot of them bring up not liking Lil Yachty or not liking certain rappers because they use auto-tune or something like that, or the trap music, or they might call certain music mumble rap because they, you know, might not understand a southern dialect or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The different stuff like that. I just pay attention to what they doing so that I can stay high. You know, I like how Gucci put it. You know, he pay attention to what the young ones doing and keep himself up with it.
Really? So you like watching what they're doing, and then it makes you be like, oh, okay, so a lot of them are wearing skinny jeans. I didn't see you transfer those.
Man, there's certain things you just can't do. You know what I mean? Certain things you just can't do. You got to let them do that. You know what I mean?
You rap about trap music?
Yep, sometimes.
But you're not trapping anymore? So, I mean, those, like, here's the thing, right? For a lot of different rappers, right? A lot of, like, we'll rap about, like, cooking up coke and all that type of stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And find it acceptable now to rap about cooking up coke. Mm-hmm. But is that good to do? Like, because now my son's walking around the house talking about he's cooking up some damn coke, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but I would hope to think that, you know, we know it's entertainment now. You know, you seeing them, you know, everybody ain't doing what they saying they doing. You know, it's just entertainment, you know. It probably ain't cool to a certain extent. I do think you got to pay attention to what you're putting out here, you know, to a certain extent. But I think as long as the shorties know it's entertainment, then, you know, I think they smart enough to decipher what's right and wrong, you know.
I got you. You wrote an open letter to Kanye. Mm-hmm. And has he ever got back to you?
No.
Yeah, he?
No.
Do you feel
I didn't intend for it to be like that, though.
But don't you think that you and Kanye should have a different relationship, both y'all Chicago? Mm-hmm. You're a legend, you know what I'm saying? He's a legend as well. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that your relationship should be better?
I don't think it's a bad thing that we don't, like, we haven't reached out to each other on that level, but I think it's just both of us just two grown people doing our own thing, you know? I don't think he would push me away or nothing like that, like if I reached out to him for any reason. Like, he know I'm the homie from Chi, so he'll just be like, what up?
And also for Chicago, right? Donald Trump, right? Mm-hmm. There was a councilman who was talking to Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And he said that he talked to the hood at Chicago and said that they said basically that they want Donald Trump to be active in Chicago and to help out. And he was like talking about all the hood captains there. Are you aware of those hood captains? Are they down with Trump?
Nah, the first thing in my mind was, man, I can't wait to see the names come out right there. That was the first thing I was thinking, like, what? rappers in the hood. I'm like, okay, these names come out, it might be a little problem because I can't think of nobody from the hood that would go to that cat and ask him to do nothing like that.
I know a couple of hood captains in Chicago. I was like, okay, I know JoJo Capone, and things like that.
Can you see him asking that question?
Yeah, that's why I was like so confused. I'm like, I know JoJo's hood car, and it's super active, and I don't think that he wants to do that.
No, it was foo-foo in the gate as soon as I heard it.
So people got at him, like the hood captains, and said like, hey, why are you speaking for us?
I'm pretty sure he got a little backlash. I don't know how deep it done went, but I'm definitely sure he got some backlash from it on the street level.
Okay, so basically you shouldn't go home for a while.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know, the wrong area, wrong place, wrong time, and that subject might have come up, he might be in trouble.
Yeah. How do you feel about like everything that's really going down in Chicago with the gangs and stuff like that?
I definitely think we got warning signs with people like Trump talking about feds coming in and things like that, and you seeing what's happening on that level. To me, I think it's a wake-up call, not for just the people like me who you might look at as role models or who should say something, but just the gangs, and whoever out there in the streets. That's a wake-up call. Like, if y'all don't want it to come deeper, y'all better slow down what y'all doing to clean up y'all act.
The feds come, you think the
feds gonna come in and swoop some whole families up out of there?
Yeah, if the feds come, do you think that would basically make it worse?
Yeah, I think it would make it worse. I definitely think we need more education and programs and funding for other things, like that type of things, not brute force or, go in the house, tear gas, definitely not that.
Why is it though that Chicago is so high rise in crimes and things like that? Because when you think about Chicago, every single dude I ever meet from Chicago is like you, super laid back. You here sitting there chilling like, yeah, saying cool, mellow. And then it just seems like right out the another side of them, they're hella turned up, like want to blast your head off.
Well, you might see a certain age class or something cool and mellow, but most of the young cats I see out here be turned up and,
ready to go.
They be ready, So it's a different breed of young cats out here right
Gangster
now.
Disciples and things like that. They don't play games.
I mean, just the mentality, not even so much what gang, but just the mentality of the youth today is a little more turned up right now. They don't care.
If somebody starts rapping faster than you, like another rapper, they start like, right? And just start taking your whole thing. Do you be like, yo, ain't that about a bitch?
Well, no. I've heard it before. I mean, this was more back in the days when that was happening. But since then, we helped pioneer a style. Like people like me and Bone, and after a while,
you and
be
Bone
like,
really are the you and Busy, and are pretty much the ones who paved the way. I think as far as the fast rapping goes.
I mean, it's a few of us out there, and I feel like we help pioneer a style. So at this point, I look at it as a compliment or. Yeah, that's something we help launch right there.
You never had any beef with well, damn, bro, you sound just like me. Ain't that something?
Yeah. Coming up, we used to have beef. All of us early on who you hear with that style, or
who was your beef with?
I was into it with Bone and this person, and then Tretch from Naughty by Nature dissed me before on the record.
Really? Are you and Tretch cool now?
Yeah, we all cool now. Yeah.
Which fast rappers would you want to work with right now?
Right now, I always like working with Busta. I think that's a favorite. People like to hear me and Busta Rhymes work together.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who else?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I like everything.
Because I'm trying to think of who I haven't worked with before that I know that spit like that a little bit.
You like Machine Gun Kelly's style with acting like a wild-ass white boy? Man, how he just be doing weirdo?
He be lit. I'm trying to tell you, he be lit.
That's the way to go. He be sitting there spitting in loogies and mouths.
Man.
He be like, what's wrong with you? And the girl catching him bang?
Woo, turn up, boy.
Huh?
Hey, it's something for everybody. He be lit, though.
Have you ever spit in any female's mouth?
No, that's turned up right there.
It is turned up. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Well, you have a lot of groupies?
No,
huh?
I do
really?
my show and leave. I do my show and leave.
Oh, you do? So you're in and out. Boom, boom, bounce out.
But man, you get that fast flow. We're going to take some flicks, and then we're going to split. But man.
Okay, so you give them fast flicks, fast flow, plastic, everything fast with you?
Man, you adding stuff in there.
Is your sex game fast too?
You adding stuff in there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm asking a question.
I'm just fast. Everything is just fast. What you make it how you want to make it. Use your imagination. Man, bam.
What's your craziest story you had with a groupie?
I don't know. I know just one crazy story, period. One time a dude ran up. I was doing adrenaline rush, and a dude ran up, dropped down to his knees, and he grabbed my leg.
He's fresh out of prison.
He was going nuts.
Well, goddamn. Yeah. You got the men acting up.
That rock star mentality we be turning out. You know?
Yeah. What's on your riders?
Huh?
You know, like the things that you request when you go to. If I want to book you for a club right now, what do I have to have there?
We used to have it. We used to have a lot of liquor on there, but we chilled out. You know, so now you might have a bottle of champagne. My buddies might want a little Ciroc or something like that, and then we try to do the healthy kick these days. You know what I'm saying? Salads and certain foods and stuff like that.
Salads?
Yeah, because you know, man,
I gotta slow it down. Like no damn salad. You know you want. We used to
have fried chicken burgers. We used to have all that stuff, but then just over the years we had to slow it down. So
when do you want to retire from rap?
I don't. If anything, I'll just, when I'm not able to do it anymore, I'll stop. But as far as retiring, I don't think anybody should retire from it, because I think that plays into the stereotype that people who do hip hop or young black men like die young and stuff like that. That's just how I relate the whole thing. So I feel like people should be able to die doing what they love.
You 80 years old, you on the beat?
Yeah, man. If you can do James Brown to the end, you do James Brown to the end.
You're going to be the rap James Brown.
Man, one of them, James Brown, somebody old is doing it.
Raspy voice with the cane up, popping up. We got Twista. Yeah, baby.
Taking it all the way there.
Anyways, Twista, you know what? I rock with you. I appreciate you. You still blinging. You still popping.
Man, thank you.
We rock star over here, baby. We doing here.
We lit.
I want to, actually, you know what? Since I have Twista, I want to go fast. Yo, thanks for coming, everybody. Rock Rants. We got Twista. Hey. Guys, thanks for watching Rock Rants. Watch the episodes of Rock Rants. I got the super juicy tea that I'll give you all the exclusives. It's going to be super hot. If you subscribe right now, this instant. Yes.
And this is about the time when I start talking about politics that the internet trolls tell me to stick to my day job. So I'd like to talk about my day job. My day job is as the chairman and the co-founder of Thorn. We build software to fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. And that's our core mission. My other day job is that of the father of two, a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. And as part of that job that I take very seriously, I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well. As part of my anti-trafficking work, I've met victims in Russia. I've met victims in India. I've met victims that have been trafficked from Mexico, victims in New York and New Jersey and all across our country. I've been on FBI raids where I've seen things that no person should ever see. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play. I've been on the other end of a phone call from my team asking for my help because we had received a call from the Department of Homeland Security telling us that a 7-year-old girl was being sexually abused, and that content was being spread around the dark web. And she had been being abused, and they'd watched her for 3 years, and they could not find the perpetrator, asking us for help. We were the last line of defense. An actor and his foundation were the potential last line of defense. That's my day job, and I'm sticking to it.
We spend $1.2 trillion a year. That's right. The black community spends $1.2 trillion a year.
but only 2% of that spending actually is spent in our community. So I ask people, imagine a country, $1.2 trillion is bigger than some countries in the world. So imagine a country that had a GDP of $1.2 trillion and only spent 2% of it in their country and the other 98% somewhere else. You would know that that is going to be a poor country. The reality is that our community is building wealth in other communities and not amongst ourselves. If that 2% that we spent in our community moved to even 10%, we would create 1 million jobs in the Black community. That's something we would do on our own, with our own dollars. So the idea here is not just to bank Black, but to buy Black, to be Black, to support the Black community. Black dollars circulate in our community for only 6 hours. Like somebody gets paid, they go get a haircut, and then they go to another community and spend the rest of their money. 6 hours. The Asian American community, their dollars circulate in their community for 28 days. Not 28 hours compared to our 6 hours, 28 days. The Jewish community, 19 days. So we're taking our dollars and not circulating it amongst ourselves. But if we do that, that's how we build wealth. This is really the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is to increase our awareness, to increase our children's awareness of the power of our dollars. We have to be purposeful in terms of how we spend our money, how we save our money, what we do with our money. And so to say to the community, put $100 in One United Bank, put $100 in a Black-owned bank, go to oneunited.com and put $100 in the bank. First of all, it's still your $100. You didn't lose anything. You still have $100 in the bank. In fact, the interest we pay is higher than what you're getting at Bank of America. And you can do online banking and bill pay and all those kinds of things the same as you can do with Bank of America. As Reverend Willis said, our ice is just as cold. But the key is not just the dollars that you put in One United Bank. It's the change of mind. This is a mind share issue. This is increasing our mind, the power of what we think about the power of our dollars.
Good morning, Anna. The Pentagon telling reporters a short time ago that they have detected a ballistic missile launch out of North Korea within the last hour, making it just around midnight North Korean time. This is something that had been anticipated. U.S. spy satellites had been watching the area for the last several days, believing there was evidence that the North Koreans were going to do another ballistic missile launch. So what is happening now is U.S. intelligence is assessing every piece of information, all the imagery, all the electronic intelligence from the North Korean missile that it can quickly gather to try and determine where it went, how long it flew, what kind of missile it was. Some early indications actually out of Japan, not confirmed yet by CNN, that the North Koreans used a very typical trajectory that they fired to the east into the Sea of Japan, the East Sea, but that still has to be confirmed. I have to tell you that one of the things in the last 24 hours the Pentagon was very concerned about is that this could be the second intercontinental ballistic missile launch by the North Koreans. You know, that long range capability. The first one they fired was just on July 4th. So if they have done another ICBM so quickly after the first test, that is going to be something for the U.S. to contemplate. They've already revised the intelligence assessment by about 2 years that North Korea could have a capable long-range missile by sometime in early 2018, and that's only months away. So we will see in the coming hours, probably fairly quickly, what kind of missile this was and if this really, again, changes the equation about the North Korean threat. Anna?
And Barbara, remind our viewers what the U.S. response was the last time when they had that ballistic missile launch, the ICBM that you mentioned. That was on July 4th, just a few weeks ago.
Well, it was, and it did spark a great deal of concern because if North Korea really has the capability for an ICBM long range, that means that they could achieve their goal someday of really being able to hit the United States with a missile, with a nuclear warhead on top. Let's be clear, the missile that they fired back on July 4th has that theoretical range and capability. Whether or not it can actually hit a target with precision at that kind of range, 5,000 miles plus away, that's a technical engineering question, but perhaps of small comfort because the North Koreans are rapidly being able to demonstrate this capability. This now puts it square in President Trump's the pile of decisions to make about what he wants to do if this new missile today does prove to be another long-range missile. U.S. policy by the State Department and the White House has been to focus on diplomacy, to focus on pressuring the Chinese, to pressure the North Koreans. But I remind everybody, it was just a few days ago, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff publicly said he was always ready to take military options to the president if it came to that. And the general thinking has been, if North Korea takes steps that are considered so imminently threatening to the U.S., so imminently destabilizing to global security, that the U.S. might have to contemplate military options to deal with North Korea. They don't want to do it. Defense Secretary Mattis has been very clear. A war with the North Korean regime would be, utter disaster, utter catastrophe. Tens of thousands, if not millions of people could die in South Korea. Right. The North Koreans, no telling how they would react to anything like that. But look, and we still don't know, if this ballistic missile that was launched just within the last hour does prove to be another ICBM, long range, capable someday of hitting the U.S., it does present the President of the United States with a number of things to think about if North Korea has been able to test launch 2 of those within a month. We just want to emphasize again that we have no official word from the Pentagon, from the Trump administration, about whether it is a long-range missile, but there had been a lot of reason to think that it was. And the only other option really out there is the intermediate range, slightly less. But that's a missile that can threaten Japan, South Korea, Guam, an awful lot of area in the Asia-Pacific region, Anna.
And looking at our latest reporting, we're seeing the Japanese are coming out now saying that they, too, are trying to make an assessment of this latest ballistic missile launch, but possible it landed in the economic zone, which obviously is a bigger threat to that country. Barbara Starr, we know you're going to continue to work your sources. Thank you for that reporting. I want to get...
Time for Donkey of the Day.
Donkeys of the Day, ask Charlamagne.
I'm a Democrat, so being Donkey of the Day is a little bit of a mixed one.
So like a donkey.
Hee-haw.
Okay.
Donkey of the Day.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Now, I've been called a lot in my 23 years, but Donkey of the Day is a new one.
Hey! Good morning. Donkey today for Friday, July 28th goes to a young white woman in Texas named Brianna Harmon. Now, Brianna is 19 years old, and on Wednesday she was charged with 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence and 2 counts of tampering with a government record, which are all felonies. Now, did I mention Brianna Harmon is white? Race matters in this situation because Brianna made a false report to police, and that false report was that she had been abducted and gang raped behind a church by a pack of wild Negroes. Let's go to KXII-TV Fox News 12 for the report, please.
18-year-old Brianna Harmon Talbot admitted to police Tuesday night she was never kidnapped and raped. It was all a lie.
I think once the story started unraveling that she didn't know how to get out of it. And it just reached the point that all she could do was tell the truth.
Police say the kidnapping scene, her open car door and shoe on the ground, her arrival at a Denison church, scratched and bleeding, was all staged. Talbot even confessed her injuries were self-inflicted. The department put as much work into this investigation as they would a murder case. They are seeking restitution for the cost, but a dollar amount has not been released, and they believe she acted alone. Birch says this hoax is especially offensive to the African American community because she described the fictitious suspects as 3 black men.
Give it a max. This is exactly what I be talking about when I say some white women have a history of lying on black men. And if this was a different time period, the police wouldn't care if it was a hoax or not. They would have arrested and killed every Negro in the town simply because Breonna wants to lie for no damn reason. Remember earlier this year when I gave the young lady from Fox Sports 1 Donkey of the Day? I think her name was Christian Leahy, I believe, because of the way she flipped on LeVar Ball and said, "Are you threatening me?" when he clearly wasn't threatening her. It's situations like this that made that such a trigger. Okay, what Breonna Harmon did is exactly what the young lady did to Emmett Till. The problem is Emmett Till got killed before the young lady admitted she was lying. Thank God times have changed, sort of. The crazy thing about this situation is she hasn't even given a reason why she did it. She just woke up one morning and said, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to say I got gang raped by a group of black guys. And for what?
She wanted some attention?
Exactly. I've been telling all you attention seekers who do anything online to get attention all week, stop looking for love on social media and start loving yourself. This young lady, she didn't do this on social media, but clearly she is not getting the attention at home that she needs to. So maybe she should start a YouTube page. She may need an IG. She needs some type of attention because clearly she's not getting enough. An idle mind is the devil's playground. It is a very dangerous thing. When someone's mind is idle, especially a child, this girl's only 19. When someone's mind is idle, the person in question will inevitably turn his or her attention to evil deeds. That's what this silly little girl, Breonna, has done. Okay? Your Uncle Charlotte tells you all the time, life is all about avoiding crazy people. Crazy people are one of the leading causes of death and all trouble in America because crazy people don't just do things that affect them. They do things that affect us all. And thank God, Breonna's crazy didn't get any black men killed or sent to jail for no damn reason. Please give this lying-ass devil Breonna Harmon the biggest hee-haw, please.
It's 6:21 on a Monday evening at the San Ysidro, California border crossing. And the man in the white sweatshirt is a smuggler, a 16-year-old high school student by the name of Cruz Velasquez, with drugs hidden in 2 bottles in his shoulder bag.
Cruz was recruited, we believe, as a mule. Here, we'll give you $100 or $200 if you just take these bottles across the border.
But things go bad almost immediately. The young man appears nervous, and these 2 Customs and Border Protection officers start to examine the 2 bottles in his bag.
So they know that there's something funny, there's something fishy.
What's in the bottles is highly concentrated methamphetamine dissolved in liquid. But instead of conducting a standard field test, the 2 officers encourage or at least permit the young man to prove it's just juice, as the family lawyer takes us through the video.
Cruz now points at the bottle and she's saying, okay, drink it. And she makes the gesture that we associate with to drink. Now watch the male agent. He says, drink another one. You see them exchanging glances and smiles because they know what's going on. This is a game in which he's being played with.
It happens again and again.
2 more sips. And you see the smile.
A total of 4 swallows in all of the highly toxic solution, something the officers will later say under oath the teenager volunteered to do.
I never asked him to. He volunteered to, and I believe I gestured to him to go ahead.
You told him to go ahead and drink on more than one occasion, did you not?
No.
And you're sure of that?
I'm sure.
But the government video obtained by ABC News seems to contradict that. Now Velasquez can barely stand, sweating profusely.
I noticed some labored breathing, and he was shaking a lot. I remember putting my hand on him and just told him to, like, relax.
It will be more than a half hour after the first drink until the officers call for a team of paramedics. A fateful delay. Cruz Velasquez died about an hour later of a massive overdose. The government paid $1 million to settle a lawsuit brought by his family with no apology or admission of wrongdoing. There was no prosecution, no punishment, not even a reprimand for the 2 officers who remain on the job to this day, George.
We begin with this unimaginable tragedy, really. That's what it is. A young mom, 9 months pregnant with twins and coping with the murder of her boyfriend. All of this earlier this month. Suddenly, she died 2 days ago after giving birth herself. This afternoon, her young child and now these 2 newborns, they are without both their mother and their father.
No tengo palabras. Acabo de perder mi hija.
Stephanie Caceres was in the ICU as her boyfriend and father of her 3 children was being buried. Hivan Sacco was shot and killed in his apartment 2 weeks ago. He was buried just yesterday. Then, less than 3 hours after his burial, she died of an infection that she apparently contracted during her C-section. And now's Alana Quillen live for us this afternoon to tell us just how this family and friends are coping today. Alana?
Well, Shannon, just moments ago, Stephanie's family made their first public comments since Stephanie's sudden passing yesterday. They are obviously heartbroken, but she worked here at Juan Bautista Pediatrics, and so many of their patients and families have brought all of these donations in for the family. We've got diapers and baby formula, all of her coworkers rallying to do anything they can to help. Trying to find words when there are none to describe what everyone here is feeling. What's certain is that 3 young children, including newborn twins, will go through life without their mom and dad.
I hate to use the word over again, but we're just very devastated.
On July 11th, West Palm Beach police say someone shot and killed 26-year-old Javon Succo inside his home at Renaissance Apartments. Javon left behind a 2-year-old daughter and a girlfriend pregnant with their twins.
Looking forward to the twins coming, and then tragedy hit. And then double whammy hit, and now we're just trying to figure out how to move forward from here.
Friends tell me Stephanie gave birth just days after his death and suffered complications from the C-section. She died in the ICU at Palms West just hours after Javon's funeral. Her family is now doing everything they can to help the children left behind.
And it doesn't bring their parents back, but it does help, because it's one less thing we have to think about right now. We can grieve.
They're also in the process of putting together a trust fund. Now, the family is still gathering donations here at the Juan Bautista Pediatrics office. We also have a GoFundMe page. That link is posted on our website, WPTV.com. Now, West Palm Beach police have told me they still have nothing to report in the search for Javon's killer. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, I'm Alana Quillen for the Now South Florida.
Here's the deal. Any American who has the desire to serve his or her country in the United States military should be commended. Anyone willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for this country demonstrates immense strength of character, and I fully and 100% acknowledge and appreciate that. But with that being said, the military is not a social experiment. It's a fighting force. Finally, we have a commander-in-chief who understands that and isn't willing to put feelings and political correctness over military readiness and the mission. I 100% applaud President Trump for reinstating the ban on transgenders in the military. And no, it's not because I have anything against transgender people. It's because it's what's best for the effectiveness of the military. Case in point. In April 2010, DoD instruction regarding medical standards listed a change of sex as a disqualifying physical condition. This regulation was justified by the concern that transsexuals would require medical maintenance and that complications may stem from hormone treatment therapy. That could cause service members to lose excessive duty time and impair the ability to serve in all corners of the globe. Well, President Obama wanted to shake things up and cater to feelings, so in a reversal, the DoD issued an instruction on in-service transition for transgendered service members. It requires the military to provide all medically necessary care and treatment to facilitate the gender transition of service members. But here's the kicker. The DoD acknowledges that transgender status may constitute a medical condition that may limit their performance of official duties, and that it may render a service member non-deployable. It may even require a leave of absence so that a transgender service member can have a real-life experience living and working in the social role of the intended gender. So let's break that down. The taxpayer is supposed to fund hormone treatment and gender reassignment surgeries, even though it may render them non-deployable? See the problem? The military already has a high suicide rate. The transgender community has an incredibly high suicide rate. So we should mix the two because it sounds good and makes people feel nice and included? No. Listen, Do what you want with your body. I think I've made it clear I'm all about that. However, the military exists to protect all of us and our way of life, whatever that may be. And in order to do that, it needs to be effective. Gender dysphoria is still a psychological condition, and the fact that some are saying we should ignore that because an incredibly small demographic wants to serve is reckless. The military is not about the wants of the individual, it's about the mission. Furthermore, to say President Trump shouldn't be able to dictate military policy because he hasn't served, well, that's ridiculous. President Trump hasn't served, but he surrounds himself with those who have. And he's taken their advice on this because that's what a good commander-in-chief does. He listens to those that have served and led and dealt with this shit every day.
Look at this stuff. This is history here. You're history.
This is garbage. I can say, hey, I bled for garbage.
So this is meaningless?
No, at one time it meant a lot. When you're just a young kid, this is everything to you. But then you realize your priorities change. And you just want your children to be happy and do nice things, and that makes you happy. This is nothing. This is just nothing, man.
Prosecutors say a man made a deadly delivery, bringing in a lethal dose of illegal drugs to a patient at a Montgomery County hospital. Eyewitness News reporter Henry Rossoff is in East Norriton right now with the charges that man is now facing. Henry?
Yuki, we printed out a copy of the statute the district attorney here is looking to use to go after drug dealers who contribute to overdose deaths. It reads, I can tell you, a lot like a regular homicide statute, meaning the man who walked into the hospital behind me and is now accused of bringing drugs with him is facing up to 40 years in prison.
He was delivering it to a hospital, a place where people go to be healed and helped.
And for that, Travis Suda is now charged with drug delivery resulting in death. Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele says the known drug dealer made 5 trips in 5 days to see and sell to Sierra Hadrick, a patient getting non-life-threatening treatment at Einstein Medical Center.
2 bags of heroin for $20. 1 bag of heroin, $10. Ativan pills to Sierra for $10. More Ativan and 1 bag of heroin for $10. Instead of delivering heroin, Suda delivered what we later learned was pure fentanyl, 40 to 50 times more deadly than the deadly drug heroin. And by delivering this poison, Travis Suda killed Sierra.
Steele says Suda is now the 4th person charged this year in Montgomery County for providing the drugs that caused a death. He says his office has encouraged local law enforcement to begin investigating certain overdoses as homicides so he can use this relatively new law to make a difference.
We're all committed to doing everything we can to stem the tide of this terrible epidemic that we're facing.
I did have a brief conversation with Hadrick's father tonight. He did not want to make any public statements. I also pressed a spokesman for the hospital to find out if there be any changes to the visitor policy because of this. It is being reviewed, I'm told. Live in Montgomery County, Henry Rossoff, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Henry, thank you.
And when you see these towns and when you see these thugs being thrown into the back of a paddy wagon, you just see them thrown in, rough. I said, please don't be too nice. Like when you guys put somebody in the car and you're protecting their head, you know, the way you put their hand over. Like, don't hit their head, and they've just killed somebody, don't hit their head. I said, you can take the hand away, okay?
It was at this home in Hialeah that 32-year-old Noel Grullon, a.k.a. Noel Castro, set his 27-year-old girlfriend pregnant with their child on fire, police say. He was angry that she was breaking up with him. After trashing the interior of the house, police say Grullon went after his girlfriend who had run outside.
He douses her with this liquid. It turns out to be gasoline. Then he takes a lighter and lights her on fire.
She ran her clothes ablaze into the house and shower and extinguished the flames. A friend took her to the hospital. She was transferred to a burn unit with second-degree burns on her neck and most of her body. It took hours for her to reveal that her angry soon-to-be ex intentionally inflicted the burns.
It took most of the day for her to finally admit to a social worker what had really happened to her. At first she was saying it was a barbecuing accident.
Grouillon took off, police say, in a black Ford F-150 King cab like this one with Florida tag HVDE62. He is still on the loose.